Hey, thanks for tuning in again. This is Rick. So, as you can see, I have my fourth assignment for Advanced Server-Side Languages open. I have my local host open on the left here, and I have the default controller for the server open on the right here. So basically, let me just show you what's supposed to happen here. So, I'm supposed to be able to log in with my Google account. Just type in my username, and then the password. And as you can see right here, it just displays my name. And I can refresh this as many times as I want. Can duplicate the tab, refresh that one. That's saved in a PHP session. And if I want, I can click on log out. And I'm logged back out again. So let's go over here to the code and take a look and see what exactly is causing this to happen. So as you can see, got the default controller, which is extending the controller class for PHP Symfony. And then we have a few different routes. We have the homepage route, which is just that. And then we have the redirect route. And then we have the logout route. Now, this right here is the homepage, obviously. This right here is for the redirect action, essentially the callback for when we get information from the Google API here. And then we have the logout link, which just unsets the PHP session for the user, and then just takes the person back to the home page, essentially. So to start off, we have this right here. We create a new Google client, and we set the application name to ASL OAuth. And then I have my client ID right here, and I have the client secret as well. And the redirect URI is the /redirect, so that's where we're going to be redirected to. And this was optional, but I set it anyways. The hosted domain is just the local host. And then I needed to add the scope for the Google Plus API to get basic information about the user, such as the name, the email address, which you probably need to specify other things to actually retrieve that, because when I looked at the object that was returned from this API, I actually didn't have access to the Gmail address still. So there's probably some other stuff needed for that. Anyways, we have this right here. I'm setting URL to the authorization URL. And if we're already logged in, the user equals the user session. Otherwise, the user variable is blank. Then we go through this array here. We have the base directory, which is actually just part of the default code that's part of Symfony. I didn't bother to get rid of that. But then I have the user, and I'm setting that to this user variable here. And I have the auth URL, and I'm setting it to the URL variable. So then what I do is I render the index.html.twig page right here. And then I actually check if the user is set. We output welcome and the username. And then we output an HTML anchor so that they can log out. Otherwise, we say welcome guest, as you can see on the left here, because the user doesn't exist yet. And then we set the link, the HTML anchor, to the auth URL so that they can log in with Google, basically. Now, when they get redirected from the Google account login, they go to /redirect, which is the root, and then we create a new instance of the Google client, set up all of our IDs and our secret and everything again. The only difference here is that at this time we get the authentication code back from Google server, and we take that and we essentially take that code and then we set the access token using that code, and then we get user details from the service, and then we set that into our PHP session essentially. So this user session is equal to the value of all of the user details. This can include, but is not limited to, the person's first name, the person's last name, their email address, the URL for their Google Plus profile, the URL for the Google Plus profile avatar image, all that kind of stuff. And once we get that information, we set that session, we just go back to the home page, and then we double check and see if that session is set, and if so, it gets passed right here. And then our index.html.twig sees that we're logged in again, and it sends us, or it outputs this result here, says welcome user.name, and then it gives us the option to log out then. One thing I did struggle with is I was not able to figure out for the life of me how to use a Symfony session, so I realized I needed to use this statement right here and actually include the Symfony session files, but I just could not get this to work for some reason. It kept saying that the session was already instantiated or started basically, which doesn't make any sense because I don't have, like session start or anything like that. And I still don't have it even with the PHP sessions. I just didn't have to type that for some reason. But anyways, yeah, besides the issues with the Symfony sessions, I was able to successfully get this working. And, you can log in, you can log out, get some basic information from a person's Google profile. And that's pretty much it for this assignment. Thanks so much again for watching.